My apologies. We have to talk about. I said we were going to talk about the future, but we actually have to talk about an episode before that. These episodes are actually connected, which is not something that happens often. It is the last episode of season 3. The episode titled The Disaster. We're going to go back to talking to Rob now. Now, Rob is still trying to make sure he's going to be Gumball and Darwin's nemesis, their villain. But what he does, this is going to blow your mind. Rob ends up buying from the Awesome Store. Remember I mentioned the Awesome Store earlier? Rob ends up buying a cosmetic remote. Now, you may be confused with what I mean by that. Just watch the clip of what happened. There's a lot to uncover with this clip. Okay, number one, he bought a cosmetic remote that can actually... what I'm going to say here is very interesting. I think what he did to the Awesome Store merchant is that, yeah, on a solid level, he killed him. But on a deeper level, he sent him to the void. Notice how he staticked up? How he disappeared in static like it's a Thanos snap? Just note that. But either way, this is a cosmetic remote that can actually control the show. He shifted through the show. He actually went to the end of the episode, people. Interesting. So, he ends up trying to use the remote to completely destroy Gumball and everyone he loves. He loves saying that all the time. And he does things like he turns Richard and Nicole back to babies, which ends up making Anais disappear. And also it ends up turning Darwin back into a fish because he made them go back in time, so therefore none of that stuff actually happened. And then look at how he actually ends up beating Gumball. He does it in a way that... How have people looked past this? Look, we went over the whole thing about him possibly sending the merchant to the void. But the remote can open a gate to the void? That's interesting. And the episode ends up ending with Gumball actually getting the remote from the void and actually rewinding everything. So this actually ties into the next episode we're going to get into, which isn't that important. I'm not going to go deep into it because simply this episode is just everything that happened. But again, it's the season 4, episode 1 episode, the rerun. So like I said, I'm not going to go too deep in actually what the rerun is talking about because simply it's just the episode The Disaster happening over again because Gumball used the remote to rewind time, and now he's trying to go through the entire events again, but making sure that, everyone doesn't die. So what ends up happening is that Rob and Gumball actually end up going into the void with their fight. And Gumball ends up saving Rob with the remote and all that stuff. And then Rob makes a sacrifice, which is going back in time, making sure none of this ever happens and stuff, and everything is normal. So that's what Rob does. He goes back in time. I think it wasn't that he doesn't remember anything. He remembers everything. But he goes back in time to when he got the remote, and he actually just simply destroys the remote. And that's it. That's literally the episode. There's no more to it. There's a possible theory that could go along with the fact that he destroyed the remote. And let me talk about this remote. Okay, so y'all have to remember when I actually talked about the season 2 final episode, the finale, and how Gumball said that one line of talking about the only thing that can save us is by reality being completely reset by some sort of magical device. Yeah, all that. Back when I talked about that, I talked about the device that Gumball was talking about is a remote. Is it this remote? Possibly. Because things really start going down with the Void after this remote is destroyed. Is the cosmetic remote that Rob had a kind of a seal for the Void? Possibly. Is there a lot of evidence for this? No. So I'm not going to really put it as a drastic theory in terms of this show, but it's something that I feel like people and, fellow theorizers that I hope make videos about this show take into consideration, and maybe there's more research we can do. So now we've gotten through that, I'm pretty sure, pulling up my notes here because, look, I'm not even going to hold you. It's been weeks. Not weeks, but it's been days. Like, this recording session has spanned across days. Like, I am... It's a lot. It's a lot. So I'm trying to go back to my notes right now and figure out what the next episode I need to discuss is. I'm pretty sure because we've discussed already, we're in season 4 now. I think after this, we actually go into the episode The Future, which I'm pretty sure that's right. So we're going to go into that. We're going to go into the season 4 episode, The Future. Okay, so once again, we are talking about the season 4 episode after the rerun, the season 4 episode, The Future. And the plot of this episode is that Banana Joe has found out that his mother has gone missing. But now, there is an important part to this episode, which normally the crazy parts happened at the end, which this episode does have, but there is a crazy thing at the beginning of this that happens. Look, oh my god, this is gonna get scary. Okay, look at this picture. This is a picture of Banana Barbara's walls. Now, if you can rewind to to the segment where I talked about the episode The Oracle that discusses Banana Barbara and the significance of her paintings and the fact that she can basically paint the future. So look at this picture really closely and bro, it was worse than I thought. Originally, when I started recording this video, I thought I could only have a picture of that part. But no, I thankfully was able to show you the whole scene. Yo! Okay, so, this is important. There are many paintings of different events that happen in the show, even in season 1. Even events from season 1 she's painted. This room is filled with paintings of just nothing but events that have already happened. But this is something that I'm not going to go too deep into because I've already talked about it in the previous segment of talking about the episode The Oracle. We know Banana Barbara's paintings are important. So basically what happens is that Banana Barbara is kidnapped by someone, and later we figure out that that someone is actually Rob. She is kidnapped by Rob, and Rob is trying to make her paint the future, is what he tells her to do. And she keeps saying this, which is really creeping me out.
No! The future! I want you to paint the future! What happens next? That can't just be the end! I need your power! You can alter the paintings! You can change the future!
Only what's left.
What does that mean? Talk to me, Barbara! Come on! Spill your guts!
So, obviously in the clip you just saw, she keeps painting static, And of course we know static refers to the void. She keeps painting static and she keeps saying, but there is no future, all things like that. So basically Banana Joe, Gumball, all of them find Banana Barbara. But what Rob figures out from this clip that I'm about to show you is that she doesn't paint the future. She manipulates it in a way. This is what Rob says, but it's an interesting thought to think about regarding Banana Barbara, because she took a painting of the present place that they were and painted something to happen in the room that they were. Is this manipulating the future or manipulating the present? She did the same thing with the brick wall to signal where she was, to signal Gumball and Darwin and Banana Joe where she was. So this is manipulating the present, but also she can paint the future. So this begs the question, is her paintings affecting the future? Like, does her painting it make it happen? This is a question that needs to be asked in terms of Banana Barbara, my fellow theorists. Because, as we stated in the Oracle, the events that she painted the pictures years before it happened. So that's just a question that I think we need to ask in regards to Banana Barbara. So basically, yes, they figure it out and they end up, Gumball, Darwin, and Banana Joe end up saving Banana Barbara and actually basically erasing Rob from existence.
Warning you.
Barbara, the brush!
No! No! No, you don't get it!
You're gonna get it.
Wait, no, please, no!
So they literally just erase Rob from existence, and then they're talking about how they feel bad, basically kind of jokey, they feel bad and stuff. So Gumball tells Banana Barbara, hey, can you paint him back into the future? And she does this.
Perfect. See ya in the future, Rob!
But there is no future.
Do y'all see what I'm talking about? She looks straight at that camera and says, but there is no future, with the painting of Rob falling into the void. Now, if you've watched the show, you recognize this picture. You recognize this painting. It's happened. We're going to get into that in a second. But notice how he also has, they made him have a pigtail at the end of it. It's also going to be important. And at the end of the episode, you see a very faded static, green static. This green static has actually showed up all the way from season 1, but I'm not going to go too deep about this green static, because literally this green static, if you look very closely, this green static shows a person inside of it. And we know who this person is. This is towards the end of season 5. I'm sorry, I think I kept saying season 4 earlier, but this is towards the end of season 5. And now, we are going to conclude this by tying everything together, by talking about the final episode that we are going to talk about in this theory. The 10th episode, aka the last episode of the TV show. The season 6 episode, The Inquisition. All the discussion, all the theories, all the brainstorming has come to this one episode. Every event from these 10 episodes, these 9 episodes, have all jumbled together for this one episode. The plot of this episode is that the schools, Elmer Junior High, the school that Gumball and Darwin and Anais attend, the school is going to have a visit by the superintendent. Now, the superintendent is definitely different because he's a human?
He's coming. Oh! The school.
My name is Superintendent Evil. Let me reassure you, I did not come to this school to break you and rebuild you from the bottom up.
Oh, that's a relief.
I came to break you.
So obviously we have a disparity here because the superintendent is obviously a human. This is the first time we've actually seen human characters in the show. Before, we've seen like Gumball and all and stuff like that as like real life things, like more real life. But this is the first time we've actually seen humans. He is a human being. And the plot of the episode is that he's basically trying to be rid Elmore Junior High of an infection, basically. And how he's going to do that is he's going to make them more human. Actually, he's turning them into humans. He ends up changing body functions of the characters and getting rid of their cartoonish ways and things like that. And he even did this to Masami.
Trust me. This is in your best interest.
What are you doing to them?
Fixing them, and their transformation is almost complete.
Almost?
So yeah, bottom line, he's turning them all into humans. So, but then all of them, you know, using their cartoonish ways and stuff like that, they all rebel and whatnot and things like that. And they all go back to their cartoonish ways due to Gumball and Darwin saving them. And then they all end up defeating the superintendent Avil. And they find out that the superintendent is not human. Instead, he is something else. Or should I say, someone else.
What the? Rob!
But who's hiding behind this mask? Oh no, sorry everyone, it is just Rob.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, a few episodes later, Rob comes back. And look at that, he has a pigtail, just like we talked about in the episode The Future. Now, Rob claims that he was trying to help them the whole time. And there is something that they seriously do not understand of what is happening. And right as he is about to explain his case, Tina, the dinosaur, smacks him in the face and knocks him out. And you hear a faint version of the end song. The end credit song. Yeah, you hear a faint version of that. And then the screen cuts. But then it fades back into the school at nighttime, and Rob is still there, and he wakes up, and ladies and gentlemen, this is where it all comes together.
Fools! I did all this for a reason. Don't you understand what's going on in Elmore? You have two choices. Live in ignorance about what's gonna happen here, or listen to what I have to say. It might just save your lives. Okay, good. The reason I've been trying to transform you is because...
I think that's quite enough.
Thank you. Thank you. Why did they stop me? Transformation is the only chance they have of escaping to the other place when this world... Oh no, it started.
I'm not even seeing the clip right now, and I'm getting chills from that distorted version of the end credits theme. Banana Bobber's painting, once again, came true, as it always does. A spitting image of what happened. And it is important to mention that the ground was crumbling and he was falling into the void. Once again, we come back to the void. The void, for some reason that we don't probably know right now, is attempting to eradicate the entire world. But why? And honestly, I don't know. But remember, my ultimate primary claim was that the void is an external lowercase g god of this world that controls everything. It controls everything. I have proved it to you by showing you how it erases their memories after every single episode instead of a few different episodes. There is a minor theory that the cosmetic remote from the disaster that Rob picked up from the Awesome Store was some sort of bound that the void had. And a part of me theorizes that it is possible that once that remote was destroyed, the void had full access to do whatever it wanted. And for some reason, what it wants to do right now is destroy everything. It's interesting notice how Rob, when he came out, he's all distorted and there are pieces of static on him. You ever wonder why Rob knows all of this stuff? He clearly knows stuff. Look at what he said. He says transformation is the only way to save them from the other place. Well, this world wherein he gets cut off. This world where what? Apparently there is some theory or some sort of crossover show or something. I haven't done enough research on it, but I hear rumors about there is a plan to mix real life, like actual real life, with the show Gumball. So that could possibly be important, and it could possibly be important of why they had to transform into actual humans to be protected from the void. But if you don't think, and this is how the show ends. That was the end of the show. We have not gotten anything since then. The only thing that we have gotten from that point was that not speculation, but it was confirmed that they are trying to make a Gumball movie to complete the story, is what the creator of the show said, but we never got that because it kept getting delayed for some reason. And now, literally it's been like a week since. Now we're getting a new show. And noticing the trailer how much it's glitching, how much is distorted and stuff. And the show is called, I think it's called The Wonderful Weird World of Gumball. I forget what it's called, but it has the word weird in it. I should make a whole nother video of breaking down that teaser trailer. But this is important. This is getting real. And The Amazing World of Gumball will continue to be not only my favorite show for entertainment, but also my favorite show for lore. Because nobody talks about this enough. So once again, I do shout out and tag multiple theorists. Theorists, especially the theorizer. Not that he's better than all the other ones, because all the other ones I mentioned are great. But the theorizer, he's going to eat this up. I think he would eat this up. I've given you the evidence. Dig into it more. Watch the show for yourself. It's an amazing show. Dig into it more. Look at the episodes I mentioned. Watch it mindfully and think about what I've been saying. There's something going on in this show that is obviously clear to us because of how the show ended. I'm just doing my work to prove it even more and saying that it goes much further than the show actually wants us to believe. It goes as far as season 2. As far back as season 2 this started. So, with all that being said, this recording session has officially lasted 63 minutes. So over an hour. I need to get to editing, and also I need to finish composing all of the songs. This entire recording session has spanned across a week. So I've been working a lot with doing this, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. More music, of course, coming soon. Please put in the comments, share this to people who like the show. Put in the comments your theories and your thoughts on this whole thing, because I love this topic. So, with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see y'all in the next one.